I have a central system, so yeah, it's a air-to-air cold climate air source.
We also have a cold climate air source heat pump, but our setup is a little bit different because we don't have ductwork. So we have like multi-split units inside the house connected to the heat pump.
Our heat pump is a centrally ducted system that is tied into our ducts, and it warms the whole house. I've done this 3 times now, once for my parents' property, once for my own, and once for a rental. Well, my friends call me the heat pump evangelist, or it's more of a self-proclaimed name. I really, as an engineer, am driven towards like optimization and efficiency. And when you look at the state of the earth and the fossil fuels that we're burning, and I think about what I can do as a young person with some means in my own corner of the world, for me that was trying to decarbonize my transportation and my household. So I was very driven to invest in less fossil fuel burning heating and cooling.
I've been wanting to reduce my carbon footprint as much as possible and is reasonable. Like heating your house is also like takes up a lot of energy. Like one of the biggest sources of energy consumption in your day-to-day life, I guess. So yeah, I had this thought that I wanted to replace the existing gas boiler, which was also like really old and very inefficient, like about 25 years old or something, with a heat pump.
Same as everybody else, I also decided to decarbonize my life as much as possible, and I started with the heat pump. I think that's studies show that that's one of the biggest contributors from a personal or a household perspective. My experience with the heat pump has been very good so far.
So far, our experience has been good. It seems much more efficient.
Overall, our experience has been pretty good. Like nothing to complain about.
Comfort has been very good in this house. We have a centrally ducted system, and there is a humidifier that's tied into the hot water tank that actually vaporizes warm water into the house, so we have it at a comfortable 45% relative humidity in the wintertime. A contractor who was recommended by one of my colleagues, Waterloo Energy. They were phenomenal in coming in, speccing the equipment, installing it, coming back to addressing the issues that I had.
So we got together, made a plan, contacted REAP, got their heat pump coaching service, which was excellent, and I would recommend that to anyone who is looking to get their system updated to use a heat pump. So we got a lot of good advice from them, and then finally made the switch.
So for us, it was quite a bit of challenge because ours is a century home and we do not have ductwork. So we wanted a vendor or a contractor who's also willing to be a bit more creative to work with our situation. And before even getting or contacting any contractor, we just wanted to learn ourselves about what a heat pump is. So we had someone come from REAP Solutions to just educate us about heat pumps, and they told us how to go about it, and they discussed certain solutions about how to heat our home. For example, like maybe keeping our existing gas boiler as a backup, or if you were to install a mini split, what the cost of that, or if you were to start with a ductwork, what would be the cost of that. And they also recommended some contractors to us. So then we reached out to Advanced Heating and Cooling. The owner of Advanced Heating and Cooling is Vincent. He's also very passionate about heat pumps, and when he saw our Century home, he was just very excited to give us a solution and make it work for us.
Our setup is basically we have mini split units on the first floor, and then we actually have a compressed air duct which is on in our attic, and that has vents to each of the rooms on the second floor. So it's not just completely mini splits. And this was like the solution that Vincent came up with, and the one that suited our requirements pretty well.
My setup and journey was much simpler. My house is relatively new, it's only less than 20 years old. So it had a central system already. So I knew from researching online and watching YouTube videos, I knew that I just needed to swap that unit for a heat pump. The heat pump will replace not just the furnace, but it also replaces the AC. It's one unit that serves both purposes. So that I already knew from researching online. Then it came down to finding a contractor. They would size it for me. I think I contacted 2 or 3 companies, which, to be honest, came pretty close in terms of budget and units. But ultimately, I decided to go with Advance as well. And yes, Vincent has been very responsive in terms of any issues I had, which I haven't had many, and very easy to communicate with.
I also drive an electric vehicle, and that, in theory, one day we should have a fully electrified house, but we got lots of appliances in the house that use gas, and so it'll take a few more years for those to meet their natural death and for us to be fully electrified one day.
So I also decided to switch the water heater for electric. With those 2 pieces of equipment, I could actually go fully electric in the house, and I decided to remove the gas meter, which allows me to save some money, which justifies a little bit of extra bill on power because of the water heater. I decided to get an electric car, but whenever possible, I also try to bike to work. Yeah, which is 90% of the time I'm able to.
Caring about climate change has been something that has been on my mind a lot for the past couple of years, and like the others have mentioned, I also made some changes to my transport. So I also tried biking everywhere just to see what it was like, and turns out I really like biking. So I reduced my car trips that way. Not saying that everybody should do it, but yeah, there are some like nice alternatives out there, and it really made me feel good that I was doing something for the future and for the better. So that I stopped being cynical about things. Being part of change makes you feel much more positive. If you are someone who wants to make the switch, who has the financial means to make the switch, but if you are, say, you don't know much about heat pumps, or like you're, intimidated by making a big switch, there are organizations like REAP who provide really good help and coaching service and help throughout the process, right from the planning phase to the part where we applied for the loan program, the details and everything. So there is like a lot of support from like these local organizations, and it's good to make use of them to make the switch.
And anyone who is has the means, and if they are going to replace their existing system or is about to towards the end of its life, then, and if they have the means, it's something that they should consider.
If you're as Peter said, if you're a thinker and you get passionate about this technology, you can consider it right away. If that's not you, maybe next time one of your appliances breaks, you can reconsider, look through the landscape, see what the options are. The heating in your house is one of the biggest sources of carbon in your personal life, so it is a good thing to consider first. Again, if that's not possible for you, it's understandable. There are other ways you can always try to reduce your footprint, either with transport, maybe walk more often, maybe bike more often, maybe take the bus, take the LRT. Those are options that could help reduce your footprint.
As a person who wants to have children one day, I want my children to grow up in a world that I've put my energy into to the best of my ability to create a better environment for them.